What's up, YouTube? Just before we get to the battles, I just want to introduce Elgato's Stream Deck, because I've been using this for quite a while now, and it's super handy on my streams and outside of my streams too. Basically what it is, it's a big old hub and macro board for all your needs right now. I use this, as I said, for streaming a lot, so you can assign buttons for certain functions. So you can have a cool little background on there, you can assign different buttons for streaming, or just any sort of macro you can think of, right? So say for example, I want to boot up the software right here. I've linked my OBS, which is my streaming software, so I can press that OBS button and then the program will pop up. Now I've also got functionality to start and stop the stream at will. I've got a mute mic function. I can tweet out a tweet just by a press of a button, and I can do a whole bunch of other stuff like be right back screens, you know, stream end, stream start, on and off for my Elgato lighting here in my room, so I can turn it on and off, control the brightness, whole bunch of really cool stuff like that too. Now I've also got a couple of other things. We've got a screenshot functionality, counters, backgrounds, so many cool options that you can use whether you're streaming or you're just using it for a hub of big old macros on your PC or laptop at home. I found this very handy, opening multiple windows at once and doing certain functionalities that sped up the process of work and just made life really easy. So if this does interest you, you can check it out. The link is in the description of the video there. I'll also pin it in the comment section of the video too. Alright people, let's get into the Pokemon battles. What's up, YouTube? For today's video, we've been full Arceus team. I'll be using every single Arceus form in today's battles, and I'll be featuring them across Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, as this is the only place you can get Arceus at the moment. So the first battle here, this is against Shiny, and we've got an interesting team here. We've got like a sand team. So the first Pokemon is going to be Hippowdon, and of course, I've got Arceus, and it's going to be the Electric Arceus. I'll be doing individual sets for all these Arceus across 3 different battles. So you're probably wondering, with 18 Arceus, what I did right is I already got like a couple from a few games already, and I got to about 6, and what I did is I actually switched the plates around so I could actually make a full team of them using all the different plates and swapping the moves and EVs around and stuff like that. So we got an Earthquake here coming from the Hippowdon, and I'm going to be going for a Solar Beam. I can't go for Charge Beam, and that's not obviously going to do anything to a ground type, right? So we're going to go for the Sunny Day and the Solar Beam. This is going to be hitting pretty hard against the Hippowdon. I'd say it would have been more of an offensive set, and that's going to take it out in one shot, which is really good. Now, I did try to play around with these Arceus sets and make some unique sets as best as I could, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a very good Pokemon. Out comes Registeel here, and Registeel is going to take a fair hit there from the Charge Beam. Now, something really funny happened the other day. We were talking about, actually happened during this battle. Someone was saying Registeel looks like the back of your car. I'm like, what do you mean the back of your car? But the little bit how you can tow stuff on the back of your car, a tow bar, I'm guessing it's called, it actually looks like Registeel. If you take away the arms, it actually looks like Registeel. I actually would really like, that's actually a really good idea. I wonder if one of them actually exists like a Registeel tow bar. That'd be so cool. Anyway, I'm going to take out the Registeel with my Arceus with the Flame Plate here. This is a Sunny Day Overheat set with Grass Knot and Extreme Speed. Worked pretty good. What I tried to do on these sets, I tried to give them a stab move other than Judgment, of course, because I wasn't going to give them all of them Judgment. That'd be too overpowered, right? And I tried to give them some coverage moves too. So say for a fire type Pokemon being the Flame Plate, I was like, well, I'm probably going to struggle against stuff like water and rock, so I'll give it Grass Knot. And I got Extreme Speed on there as well for just a little bit of coverage and priority move. So out comes the Metagross here. Metagross doesn't really have a lot to hit with here. I'm going to go for an Overheat. Still does a lot of damage, and that is going to be taking it out. It actually managed to set up a Light Screen. Now, if you do enjoy the video, people, please drop a like there. Please drop a comment there. This one did take a lot of my time because I had to go through like literally 18 different Arceus sets and all the battles. So it took a very long time. So if you do enjoy the videos, people, a comment and a like will be absolutely amazing. Plus, it helps you out too because you get to see my videos in the subscriptions. Next Pokemon is going to be the Flygon here, and Flygon is going to be, interesting enough, a bulky Dragon Dance set. Now, this actually caused me quite a few problems here. So we're going to be swapping out the Flame Plate Arceus, and we're going to be going into, I think this is the flying one. We'll have a look at it. Sometimes some of the colors of the Arceus the plates and stuff like that, they're quite similar to other ones. So you probably think that looks like maybe steel or something like that. It's quite a grey colour, but I believe this is my flying one. Let's see if I'm right here. So we got, Fly, Swagger, Energy Ball, and Future Sight. Hopefully their future is not going to look too bright. So we got a very, very powerful attacking move here from the Dragon Claw. I've set up the Future Sight. Now, I know that light screen's up. It's not going to do that much damage, but that's all I can really do at the moment. I did think about going for Fly there, trying to stall out, but I thought, well, that's only going to give them another reason to go for another Dragon Dance. So I'm going to be swapping that one out. And I'm going to be going into, I think this is my Psychic one. No, this is the Fire one. So I got hit there by the Dragon Claw, and it's already back to full health just simply from all the leftovers, right? So I went for the Extreme Speed here. It doesn't really do a lot of damage to it. I'm not running any attacking EVs at all, and that's going to finish me off the Dragon Claw. So this Flygon is really starting to sweep through my team. Now the Future Sight is going to kick in here, but since it was a light screen up, it virtually did nothing. So that Metagross, really helped out that Flygon later on in the battle. Next Pokemon I'm going to bring there, it's going to be Arceus as well, and this is my Poison Arceus. Yeah, oh no, so it's my Ghost one. Oh man, I got confused. So we've got Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, Healing Wish, and I've also, just the coverage moves basically, so I gave it max attack and max special attack, which is pretty cool. I also gave it Calm Mind too. I've got the Spooky Plate as the item, and I've got max speed, and I've got max attack. So this one was, I got max special attack and max speed. Quite a lot of them were special attacking moves. Yeah, there was quite a lot of them to pick from. So the light screen is now gone there, and now we got another Earthquake, and that's the end of Arceus. So I'm in a lot of trouble here at the moment. Now, as I said, I did try to make these sets sort of fun, not like super, super sweaty and competitive. So, they definitely weren't invincible. Even though it is Arceus, they definitely weren't invincible sets. They're more fun sets. Next Pokemon is going to be the Gracias, the Grass Arceus. We got Cosmic Power, Giga Drain, Recover, and Seismic Toss. Now, this set was a very, very bulky set. As you can see, it's tanking the moves really, really well. Let me explain why. So I've got max defense and I've got max special defense. So this is a really, really bulky set, all based around Cosmic Power, Giga Drain, Recover, and Seismic Toss. We got the Meadow Plate as the item, making things very, very grassy. Now that's the end of the Flygon, which is really, really good. And we got the Garchomp coming in. So I've got the Cosmic Power up. So I'm in a pretty good position here. I believe that I can beat this Garchomp. It's going to go for a Dragon Claw here, and Dragon Claw is doing nothing, which is great. I can just simply keep attacking this with Giga Drain, even though I've got no special attack EVs at all. And I also will say one thing, these Arceus, all of them, they had their EVs on them, but their IVs, they only had the max IVs that they came with, which is 3. All the rest were just random stats. I didn't even bother, even going there with BDSP team building and trying to get the IVs and stuff like that. Like Sword and Shield, you can simply do it with bottle caps. It's so much easier. Didn't even bother with this team because it's just simply too hard. And Arceus was a good Pokemon anyway, so even if it didn't hit as hard or have as much bulk, it still was, pretty dang good. So Garchomp's going to be eating a Lancet Berry, which is really cool. It's going to pump it up there and go for a Shadow Claw, and Shadow Claw actually crits, but since I'm running such a bulky Arceus and it wasn't stab on Garchomp, it really doesn't do a lot of damage. First Shark on the Moon. It could have been the second one. I think I may have put a Sharpedo on the Moon, not sure. Okay, so that's the end of old Garchomp. Next Pokemon is going to be Tank Girl, and that's going to be the Torterra. So swapping out Arceus here, and I'm going to be going into my next Arceus. This is the flying one. Yes, this is the flying one. Now the Torterra is going to go for a Curse here. So it's going to be a physical set. So I thought, well, they may have something like Rock Slide to hit my flying type. I know they won't be able to go for a ground type move, and if it is a grass type move, it's going to kind of be weak. So first things first, I'm going to go for the Future Sight, and the Torterra is going to go for a Razor Leaf. It's like, okay, I'm going to try and be a troll here, right? I'm going to go for the Swagger, because I haven't used Swag yet. I'm going to make this Torterra hit itself for confusion, and then it'll get hit by the Future Sight. And it should hit pretty hard, because there's no light screen from the Metagross on the field anymore, right? So here comes the Swagger, and unfortunately for me, it doesn't hit itself, and Razor Leaf takes out my Arceus. It is a disaster. So that's the end of my Flyacus. Next Pokemon is going to be my Arceus. This is the Ground Arceus. Yes. So we've got Giga Impact, Earth's Power, Earthquake, and Poison Jab. I went for a Sludge Bomb here, and it did pretty good damage, but I've got more attack. I got way more attack EVs on this thing. I got max attack and I think I got max attack and max speed. So Razor Leaf hits me really hard. In comes Future Sight, almost takes out. I'm going to finish this battle here with the Giga Impact Arceus only on PIMPNITE Channel, and it fails to take it out. I guess that's why they call it Tank Grill. Anyway, Torterra is going to go for an Earthquake there, and that's going to be the end of old Arceus. I've got my Gracias left, which can simply come in and use Giga Drain and take it out. And that, my friends, is the very first battle. A pretty cool team there, all based around the sand. And I must say, our first Torterra on the moon, by the way, I must say that Flygon almost ended up sweeping my team. If I didn't have such bulk on these Pokemon, like, Arceus' base bulk there, I would have got wrecked by it. So thank you, Shiny, for the battle. Let's get into battle number 2. This is against Skylar, and we've got a really, really cool theme team here. So first Pokemon we got is going to be the Loudred, and I've got my Arceus. Now, this is a new Arceus team now, so I'm using different Arceus. This is the Rock one. Rock Slide, Rock Climb, Will-O-Wisp, and Sandstorm. So you got to pay attention to all the little Arceus plates here. So this one is, this is a max attack one, and I've also got max health. So this is like a bulky trolling set. So what I wanted to do with this one, I wanted to set the Sandstorm up. So I wanted to get that Sandstorm going, then I could go for the Will-O-Wisp to burn the opponent, and then I could go for the Rock Climb to confuse the opponent, and then go for the Rock Slide to flinch the opponent. So all the scum happening at once. Now, I will say one thing too, the Rock Climb glitch is now fixed. I just noticed it the other day when I was using Rock Climb, or this set, to be specific. It actually, if you haven't seen it before, it was in some of my earlier BDSP battles when the game first came out. I think I was using Regigigas, and what happens, right, is the health bar just drops. Like, you actually don't see it going down. It's actually a pretty interesting looking funny glitch, but now they've actually fixed that. I mean, they've really fixed the good things, haven't they? They fixed all the cloning and the Rock Climb glitch. They've done a very, very good job there. So that's going to be the end of Arceus. We won't go there. And next Pokemon we got is Arceus, and this is going to be the Ice one. Yes. So I've got Hail, Blizzard, Flamethrower, and Shockwave. I've got max speed and max special attack. Most of these sets were either max speed, max special attack, max speed, max attack, or max health, max attack. And I had the other ones as max offense and max special defense. So I really tried to do some different EV spreads here. Some of them had some really interesting EVs. I think of the last, or either this one or the last one had I think I put 100 in all or something like that. Really try and mix up those EVs. Some of them I didn't really want to change too much. So that's going to be the end of Executor anyway. Now this is really interesting, right? Because we've got the Golem coming out here. I want to use Water Gun at the moment, but I can't. I've got to use Blizzard. And now Golem's going to go for a little tumble and use Rock Slide, taking out my Arceus. So that was very unfortunate that my move missed right there. I was thinking about going for Hail, but then again, if I went for Hail, I would have fainted anyway, right? Next Pokemon, this must be the Psychic type. Yes, it is. So we got Gravity as the Psychic move, and I've got, all the low accuracy moves that Arceus got on the special side. So, the Thunder, Blizzard, Fire Blast, all those sort of sets there. So we got the Loudred coming in. First things first, I'm going to go for Gravity. This is going to allow me to make my moves, obviously, hit. To be basic terms right there. And now it's going to go for a Endure. Now, I've seen this use Endure on the first turn, and I'm thinking to myself, it must have something like a weakness policy. Sorry, I've got Focus Miss, not Fire Blast. Now, Loudred is going to live that on 1 health. Merch is available there. And what it's going to have, right, it's going to be eating a berry, which is going to be a Custep Berry, which is interesting. So we got to see that earlier on with the Executor. And now comes the Endeavor, which is going to put me on 1 health, and Focus Blast is going to take out the Loudred. So a pretty cool set there, relying on Custep Berry. What does Custep Berry do? It's a berry you consume, and it gives you priority, so which is really, really cool. And it is situational, but it actually is a very, very interesting berry, and it's very, very useful even for setup leads and stuff like that. So we got Golem living the Blizzard. You wouldn't read about it, and now it's going to go for an Earthquake and take out my Arceus on 1 health. So that was an interesting live right there. So bye-bye Arceus. Now, my next Arceus here is going to be, let me see what this is. Oh, wait. No, this is the water one, yeah. So we got a Water Pulse, Thunder Wave, Rain Dance, Bullet Seed set. So this one's like a mix set. I think I ran this one as max special attack. 100 in attack and 152 in health. Something like that, something really weird EVs. We got a Custep Berry explosion coming from Golem there, and that's another Custep Berry activate. These berries are activating everywhere. So wait for Water Pulse there, but it's going to miss and slide on by the trainer. Next Pokemon is going to be the Swalot. Now, I was wondering what this theme team was. Maybe you are too, but the Swalot actually gave me the clue that I needed. So maybe you can remember I'll give you a little, I'm going to give you a little clue here. Actually, no, if I give you that clue, that'll spoil it. I'm going to let you just see if you can think what it is. Like, put it in the comment section if you can think that up. So we got a Sludge Bomb there. It's not doing a lot of damage, but then again, I'm not really doing a lot of damage to this Swalot either. Swalot's very, very thick, and, Water Pulse wasn't exactly the most powerful move in the world there, even with the rain up. So that's the end of my Arceus Water with the Splash Plate. In comes my Poison ones. So we got Poison Jab, Brick Break, Bulldoze, and Sword Dance. This is straight up max speed and max attack, and I've got Sword Dance here to boost the attack, so it's pretty good. So we got the Swalot swapping out there. I knew it'd struggle with the Poison, Arceus, and we've got the Slowking coming in. Watch this, right? So I went for the Sword Dance there because I had a feeling, well, I'm probably going to get a swap here, so this is going to be very, very nice. What I can do now is I can go for the Poison Jab, and at +2, this should do, like, enormous damage to Slowking. Should take it out. Slowking somehow lives right and gets a curse off. I was like, wow, that was a really, really lucky live. Like, I don't know what sort of, I doubt it would have had a Focus Sash. It must have just, like, rolled the right amount of damage. Now, Slowking, of course, right, is going to have the Custard Berry because it's in that health range there, and it's going to activate, and it's going to be going for a +1 Zen Headbutt. So I'm assuming this is max attack +1, does a lot of damage here to Arceus, and I got flinched as well, which is pretty funny. Now, since Custard Berry only works for 1 turn priority, I can still take it out with the Disrespect Brick Break, but that was pretty cool. This team has almost landed, I think it's landed all of the Custard Brews so far. So next Pokemon is going to be Shuckle. Now, by this time, I'd figured out that, they're using Custard Brew, right? So we got the Shuckle going for a Power Trick here. So Power Trick's going to swap its attack and defense. So I thought to myself, well, since that's happened, I believe now I can take Shuckle out. It's not in the range of Custard Berry activation, so I think it's going to get dropped unless it's got a Band or an Endure or something like that. So in comes Bonding Time to the Brick Break. Unfortunately, it was a critical hit, and it's actually put it in the range of Swalot's Custard Berry as well. So another Custard Berry activation, and this time it was going to be Destiny Bond. So that was really, really good because that's going to take out my Arceus and it's going to take out the Swalot, of course. So I went for a Bulldoze there, tried to give it a couple of weak moves on top of that, and that's the end of Swalot, and that is the end of my Arceus. So I've only got one more Arceus, and we got Shuckle. Now, the last Arceus I've got in this team is going to be the Steel-type Arceus, right? So this is, this looks quite similar to the flying one in color. Next Pokemon is Shuckle, and we've already done some damage to it, but since it used swapped out after that Power Trick, it's got its old defenses back. Now, I've got Iron Tail, which will do good damage. I know they've got Power Trick, but I thought, well, Flash Cannon should do alright too. It's got 100% actually, let's go for it. So firing off Flash Cannon at the Shuckle, and it's taken it out with a critical hit, which definitely mattered there. So we did a little bit of calculation afterwards. The Shuckle, I'd say, definitely would have lived that, and it was going to use Earthquake after the Power Trip with a Custard Berry, which had a chance of actually fainting my Arceus. It wasn't a 100% chance. I can't quite remember what the damage count was, but man, it would have been close. That was a crazy battle there. Let's get on to battle number 3 anyway, and we've got an interesting matchup here with the Arceus and the Roserade. Now, this is my fighting type Arceus. I had to give this one Rock Smash. So I've got Rock Smash, Payback, Aerial Ace, and Focus Miss. This one is Max Attack and Max Special Attack. So I tried to sort of mix this around with the EVs. So go for Rock Smash here. I'm going to try and get a defense drop. It's a 50% chance happening. And it didn't happen. So now Roserade is going to put some Toxic Spikes on the field, which is always fun, especially when you're not carrying the Poison type Arceus to absorb the ball. So I went for the Aerial Ace there. As you can see, Aerial Ace wasn't a one-shot anyway, and Roserade managed to deliver. So, even if I went for both of those straight away, it wouldn't, the same thing would have happened. So I went for Rock Smash, and Roserade is going to faint there. But I didn't get my 50% chance of dropping. Like, even on 2, I didn't happen. So that's going to be the end of the Roserade. Next Pokemon's going to be Togekiss, and it's shiny too. Man, I barely even noticed. So swapping out of my fighting Arceus, and I'm going to go into my next Arceus. Now, this was this is the poison one. No, this is not the poison one. This is the dragon one. So that's confusing. I feel like I'd have dragon as a blue color. I don't know what, maybe an aqua color. I'm not sure. Or maybe even red. So we got Dragon Claw, Poison Jab, Avalanche, and Dragon Pulse. This is actually very, very similar to EV's, the one before. I think this is Max Attack and Max Special Attack too. So Togekiss is going to go for a Sweet Kiss here on my Arceus, and I'm going to be confused. I'm like, okay, this is an annoying troll set, and I hit myself with confusion. Plus, I'm already poisoned too with 2 layers of Toxic Spike. So I better do something fast, otherwise I'm going to get wrecked. So I've got Avalanche here, which I know will do a lot of damage. Now Togekiss is, of course, going to go for the Air Slash, and they're going to try and flinch me, which they do. So that I've got the flinch, and I've got the poison damage. So that's it. You know, I got wrecked right there. There's absolutely nothing I can do. So that's the end of my Dragon Arceus. I've got to drag it off the field there. So bye-bye Arceus. Now the next Pokemon I'm going to bring, it's not going to be the Fighting type one. It's going to be the Fairy type one. So I had to include Judgment on one Arceus, and this is the one I was going to do it on. So we've got Work Up, Sub, Bulldoze, and Judgment. Even though it says it's a normal type move, it's going to be attacking as a Fairy type. And Judgment, of course, is always a special type move as well. So I didn't want to run Judgment on every single one of the Arceus. I tried to use different moves, but I definitely fell back on using one of them. And plus, also, Arceus doesn't get any Fairy type moves either, like Fairy type attacking moves on the physical or special side. That was another reason why I ran the Judgment with this. So this was sort of like the same thing here. The Togekiss kept going for the Squeakiss and trying to confuse me and try to feint me, you know, with obviously the effect of Air Slash, Toxic Spikes, and Squeakiss at all at the same time. Fortunately for me, I managed to get the Judgment off there, and that's going to be the end of the Togekiss. Almost. Very, very close. But Judgment looks pretty cool. I guess it looks, you know, pretty much similar to what it always has. Sort of like a burst of light upwards, or sort of like light shooting upwards and then bursting on the sky over the Pokemon. So now we got the Togekiss going for Life Dew instead. Now Life Dew is going to give it a bit of health back there. I guess they were hoping that I'd hit myself for confusion and then die to the poison, but that did not happen. I snapped out and got around it and then took out the Togekiss. That was really, really good. So they played pretty confidently there, but you know, I would have bet that I probably would have hit myself for confusion, and I'd say they would have gone for Air Slash the next turn to take me out. Now, the next Pokemon is going to be just normal Rotom here. Now, what I did right, I went for Judgment, and this was pretty funny. So, Rotom set the light screen up here. I just went for Judgment. It was the only strongest move I had here. And with the Judgment right, it managed to get a crit on the Rotom. It just dumpstered it, even with the light screen up. So, I was really, really lucky. I was, like, very, very fortunate to get such an easy KO before my Arceus, you know, was actually going to faint there on the next turn. So, that's half the team down. Next Pokemon is going to be Godahax, and this is the Arceus. So, I was like, uh-oh. This is a normal type Arceus, and since it was called Godahax, I knew something was going to happen here. So the Arceus is going to use Double Team, and this is where the fun began, right? So I went for a Judgment. I managed to get the Judgment off, but remember, there is a light screen on the field, and it is the Arceus as well, so it doesn't really do lots of damage. It does, you know, hardly anything. I don't know what other moves this has, but Double Team smells very, very big trouble for me. Next Pokemon is going to be my Arceus. This is... Ooh, what's this one? I've used the grass one already. Oh, this is the bug one. Sword Dance, X-Scissor, Rock Tomb, and Brick Break. I guess it's pretty cool. You get to see all the different plates in Arceus, so you probably wouldn't get to see that very often. Now, I will say one thing too, why I'm setting this with Sword Dance up against yours truly here. I actually have done an Arceus team, and I did it a very, very long time ago, and I think I did it on Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So if you are interested in, if you like Arceus, or you want to have another look at what I did many years ago at the Arceus team, you probably could go check that one out. I just type something like PIMPNITE Arceus team or something like that. If I remember, I will leave a link in the description of the video too. It's just, I'm not really sure when I'm going to be uploading this one, but yeah. So we're going to go to Arceus. Normal, of course, this is the shiny one. I only have one shiny one to show off here, but they're pretty much are the same. It's just like the Arceus is normal yellow or goldy looking color, and the little, I don't know, what would you call that thing around it? Like the is it a halo? I'm not really sure what it is. Let's just call it a halo for now. That just retains the color of the plate, right? And the Arceus's body and everything stays the same when it's shiny. So that's the only difference between, you know, the different plates of Arceus. It just shows on there. So anyway, here we got a Charge Beam Arceus, and it's got Double Team as well. So it's just obviously using Double Team to avoid any hits and boosting its special attack up here. So this was a Sword Dance cut set. I really, really had to nerf Arceus down, especially the normal one. It was so, so strong. So I gave it such a crappy move with the cut. The bad thing about cut is, for some reason, it's not 100% accurate. Like, it's already a really bad move anyway, but I don't know what was going through their head when they thought to make cut not 100% accurate, but I got trolled by this opposing Arceus. It just managed to like elude all my hits, and it just took me out of charge beam. So unfortunately, my cut Arceus went rip. I have done an Arceus sweep before on YouTube a very, very long time ago. I think it was with more of a competitive set, but maybe I'll look at Arceus and do a new sweep there if you'd like to see that. I'll have a look at its moves. I may even try and do it with the cut one. So next Pokemon we got is going to be the Dark Arceus here. This is a pretty cool set. So what I wanted to do is run a Perishong set. This one's got all the sort of like moves it can use too. So I gave it Snarl as its dark type move, which drops the special attack of the opponent, which I thought would be pretty good here. I ran this one as max defense and max health EV. So I really, really tried to make it, you know, as tanky as possible. So I thought at worst here, I can go for Protect and Peristong. They're either going to swap out here, or they're going to swap, you know, they're going to stay in. I mean, they've already used up 3 of the other Pokemon too. The best thing I can do here is just get this thing to swap out, and maybe I'll be able to take it out afterwards or something like that. So I went for a double Protect here with the Arceus, and I actually got this down to 1 last turn. So I was actually willing to either lose this Arceus or swap it out, just in case. I was thinking, well, they might swap here. There's a good chance I'll swap here. I'll swap this out, right? And I'll be able to use Peristong on it later on. That'll be easy to get around. And it'll lose all its boosts too. Lose all its double teams and stuff like that. So I swapped into the bug one, but they stayed in and went for a charge beam. I was like, oh, I thought they'd actually swap out there. So I took a big chunk of damage from the charge beam and some extra toxic damage, which sort of sucked. But I guess at least I got around the Arceus there. But I did have the Peristong one in the back there if that Arceus, you know, obviously swapped out. And they only had 2 Pokemon left. So the next Pokemon is going to be the Machamp. It's a shiny one. And I've got no idea what sort of set this is going to be. So I decided to set up on it with a sword there. It's like, well, I believe I can probably take 1 hit here. Unless it's like a, I don't know, like a fire move or a rock type move. Now, the Machamp's going to go for a focus energy there. Obviously, they're trying to get a critical hit, guaranteed. Maybe it's got a scope lens or something like that. So, well, this could be very, very bad with a powerful physical attack. But it's got the Flame Orb. So, like, okay, it's got Guts and it's got a crit chance of, like, 2 or 3. So, like, wow, that's going to hit very, very hard. So now Machamp's going to go for Facade, and that's definitely going to be the end of my Arceus. That crit absolutely didn't matter. I got some good damage off there with the Body Slam, though. So I was sorry, not the Body Slam, the Brick Break. I don't know why I said Body Slam for. Next Pokemon I'm going to bring is going to be my Arceus. Oh, this is my earlier set, the Fighting one. Now, I know they've got Facade. I went for Air Oasis here. Air Oasis did actually take the Machamp. I thought it might just live, but it was probably just enough to take it out there, which is really good. I think this was the Arceus that had, like, really, really bad IVs at, like, 2 or something like that. Last Pokemon is going to be the Meganium. Now, Meganium's pretty tanky. I was like, what I'm going to do here, since I've saved up that Darkius, or Darkius, that's actually a pretty good name. I can go for Peristong, right? So Meganium's going to go for a Bullet Seed here. Now, Bullet Seed really isn't doing that much damage to me. The only thing I was worried about, you know, if it did hit me like 5 times, then I'd have to take the toxic damage. And if I got outsped the next turn, and then I'd have to take all these Bullet Seed again. That was probably my only concern there if I didn't get that happening. And, you know, if it had any like setup moves, stuff like, or status moves like Rest or a healing move, something annoying like that. So go for Peristong. I outsped the Meganium, which is, I pretty much expected to do there. But anyway, it's going to be go for the Bullet Seed here. And it managed to hit me with enough Bullet Seeds to actually take me out. So that's the end of my Arceus to the poison damage. Now, my last Pokemon is the very first Arceus I had was the Fighting type one, which is good. I've got the Rock Smash and I've got Air Ice, but I know that Meganium is, you know, pretty bulky, and this thing doesn't have the greatest attack in the world. So I went for the Rock Smash for the 50% drop there, and I was like, great, this is really, really good. You know, the next Air Ice should be able to take out a Meganium. Now, Meganium's going to go for an Ingrain here, obviously not expecting me to drop the defense by 50%, or sorry, 50% chance of dropping the defense there. And now it's got the Ingrain, and it's going to be actually getting its health back, where I'm going to be losing health from the Toxic Spike. So I need to take this thing out pretty quick, and I've also got the Peristong going. So go for Air Ice there. They managed to live that even with -1 defense, and here comes some more Bullet Seed. Now, Bullet Seed really isn't doing too much damage, but this Meganium had an annoying habit of actually hitting me with like 4 to 5 Bullet Seeds over and over again there. So I really didn't want to get hit by, you know, another barrage of these. Otherwise, my Arceus was, you know, going to be fainting a couple of turns. So I got hit 5 turns there, and I'm going to take another round of the Toxic too. But that's pretty much it here. I can go for the Airways and finish off the bulky Meganium, and that's going to be really, really good. And that, my friends, is the third and final battle. Really hope you enjoyed the full Arceus team with all the forms. I'll catch you tomorrow for another video. Peace out, people.